Namaste everyone. Is my screen visible? Am
Yes,
I audible?
yes.
So welcoming you all to this holistic webinar series in which today we are going to have on weight management, holistic approaches to weight management. So today, three of us will be speaking. First, I'll be speaking on the perspectives from the scientific background on why we lose weight or why we gain weight and why we are not able to in spite of diet and exercise. After me, Dr. Amada Varshini, BNYS, who is a naturopathy and yoga practitioner. She will be speaking on the naturopathy and yoga perspectives. Following her, Ms. Sneha Bhardwaj, psychological counselor of the DAV Prashasti. She will be speaking on the psychological aspects. So moving on, this is our disclaimer. So whatever we are presenting, it's only for informational purposes. And for individuals, the results may vary. You should take decisions based on consultation with a professional. So here in the chat box, can people who have joined tell us whether you're looking forward to weight loss or weight gain or just for information purpose? Why have you joined this webinar? Weight loss. Okay, thank you, Ji. Weight loss. Weight gain. Okay, that's nice. Yes, we do have our post who needs weight gain. Yes, weight loss. Yes. So, and why we are having this webinar, like, I mean, I also have been in the same position where once I have tried for weight gain and now following these holistic approaches, I have been able to manage my weight by losing weight. Okay, we have weight loss and weight gain. That's a good mix. So it's good for a weight management perspective. Okay. So first, personal and community factors. So before I move, I would request to know if someone doesn't understand Tamil here, you can put it in the chat box so that we will go only in English. Otherwise, we'll go bilingual. Can is there anyone who does not understand Tamil? Okay, so I will proceed with bilingual. Unless and until we get some person who is not able to understand. I request the host to see the chat box. If people are not able to understand Tamil, then you please let me know, Sharmagapriya ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. So factors affect weight. எதெல்லாம் நம்மளோட weight வந்து affect பண்ணும்? நிறைய இதுல விஷயங்கள் ஏற்கனவே you would have known. Most of the factors you would have known. But we are dividing it into 4. I mean, I am not dividing. Harvard has divided into 4. First, personal factors. Which race we belong to, which gender we belong to, male or female. அதுக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி there will be weight gain and weight loss. How then age? As we age older, usually we put on weight. Usually that's the criteria. But it again, இது வந்து gender, race, ethnicity இதெல்லாம் பொறுத்து மாறும். அப்பாடா ஒரு முக்கியமான விஷயம். எல்லாமே நம்ம சாப்பிடுறதால கிடையாது. And it's not about only us eating or exercising. It's more than that. அதுக்கு தான் இந்த வெபினார்ல இருக்கும். எதெல்லாம் ஏஜ், ஜெண்டர், ரேஸ், எத்தனிசிட்டி. தென் கம்யூனிட்டி ஃபேக்டர்ஸ். நம்ம மட்டும் இல்ல, நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டி வெதர் வி கேன் எக்ஸசைஸ் எல்லாம் சொல்லிடலாம். we can tell do this exercise, do this. Are we in a community that supports it? Are we in a community where we have the ability to get food for weight gain? Okay. Or man, if for example, I will tell you, drink this specific type of juice, ABC juice kudinga daily. Whether you get ABC juice, whether you are in a financial position to get ABC juice, or whether you are in a community where you get the apple, beetroot, carrot. So, அந்த மாதிரி community factors, it will affect your weight. Societal influence. இப்போ அதுதான் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். what the public health, the governments, the agriculture, we will see lot of things called obesogens. எப்படி oncogens cancer உருவாக்குமோ, obesity, weight gain of more than 20% of your weight, அது மாதிரி இருந்தா obesity, we'll see it through the webinar. It is also caused by some agents called obesogens, and obesogens are mainly due to processed food, latest agriculture practices. அதே மாதிரி how the community influences. நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் என்ன சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்காங்க, slim fit இருந்தாதான் we are healthy, correct? யாராவது வந்து ஃபேட்டா இருந்தா ஹெல்த்தி அப்படின்னு எங்கேயாவது கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? கேன் எனிஒன் டெல் பீயிங் ஃபேட் இஸ் ஹெல்த்தி அப்படின்னு? ஹஸ் எனிஒன் டோல்ட் யூ, ஆர் or at least being average is healthy? Have you seen any advertisements, audience? I want it to be interactive. இல்லைன்னா பாதியில தூங்கிடுவீங்க எல்லாரும். இதெல்லாம் பலது எல்லாருமே கேள்வி கேட்டதாவே இருக்கும் நிறைய. So can anyone tell being average weight இருந்தா it's like better அப்படின்னு chat boxல போட்டிருக்காங்களா? No. Yes, because we've always been told slim fit இருந்தாதான் healthy. That is across the world. Even average weight is not considered. See, we might not be obese at all. நம்ம obesity-ஆவே இருக்க மாட்டோம். பட் நம்மள வந்து நீங்க இவ்ளோ weight gain பண்ணிட்டீங்க, இவ்ளோ weight gain பண்ணிட்டீங்க, இவ்ளோ weight gain பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னு we are pushed to weight loss, which may sometimes be not needed at all. So there are societal influences. Then social norms. For example, சின்ன வயசுல இருந்து தட்டு அப்படியே கிளீனா சாப்பிட்டுறணும். அந்த ஃபுட்டு நல்ல ஃபுட் இல்லையான்னு சம்டைம்ஸ் நம்மளால தெரியாது. ஸோ இதெல்லாமும் இந்த மாதிரி இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சஸும் இந்த மாதிரி நார்ம்ஸும், அதுக்குன்னு ஃபுட்டை வேஸ்ட் பண்ணணும்னு நம்ம சொல்ல, தேவையான அளவு தான் பேரண்ட்ஸும் ஃபுட்டு கொடுக்கணும் சில்ட்ரனுக்கு. வி ஷுட் கிவ் வாட் எவர் இஸ் நீடட், and then we should tell them to eat how much ever is possible. If they are not eating, we should not force them. So இந்த மாதிரி norms எல்லாமும் can influence your weight. Now, genetics and weight. In the audience, I want you to tell how many of you believe genetics is the major cause for weight gain or weight loss. அதாவது how you are and it is not possible to change it. அப்படிங்கறது யாரெல்லாம் சொல்றீங்க? You can also unmute and tell, or you can also put it in the chat box. Me, okay. Divya ji, okay, thank you. And is there anyone who tells no? Okay, yes, to some extent, but can change. Very good. That's another question. Can we change it? Yes, Padma Priyan Sai Shweshini. Very good, very good. Okay, so genetics and weight. Genetics is an important aspect of your weight. ஏன்னா we are all exposed to the same kind of obesogens. நம்ம எல்லாரும் இப்போ for example, we are all living in Chennai or we are all living in Tamil Nadu, we are all in the same environment. More or less we'll be eating the same food. More or less like for example, இட்லி தோசை எல்லார் வீட்லயும் சாப்பிடுவோம், right? பட் சில பேர் வந்து 10 இட்லி சாப்பிட்டாலும் weight gain ஆகாது. ஓகேயா? அதே மாதிரி சில பேர் வந்து 20 இட்லி சாப்பிடுவாங்க at a time, பட் அவங்களுக்கு வந்து weight gain ஆகாது. சில பேர் 2 இட்லி தான் சாப்பிடுற, சில பேர் வருவாங்க, மேம் I eat only 2 idlis daily மேம், பட் weight gain ஆயிட்டே இருக்கு மேம். Why? Of course, it's because of genetics. Genetics influence your weight. Okay, the genes, there are more than 100 twin studies. எப்பவுமே ஒரு factor, whether it causes any genetic factor, whether it influences some medical condition or health அப்படின்னு பார்க்கிறதுக்கு they do something called twin studies. ஏன்னா ட்வின்ஸ்னா ஒரே மாதிரி இருப்பாங்களா, அட்லீஸ்ட் என்னையும் வேற யாரையும் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணாங்கன்னா will be different in our genetic makeup. So twin studiesல பார்ப்பாங்க, 2 ட்வின்ஸுக்கும் ஒரே genetic makeup தான் இருக்கும், பட் அவங்களுக்குள்ள ஃபுட் என்விரான்மெண்ட்லாம் மாத்தி பார்க்கறதுல 50 to 90% of the weight is dependent on your genetics. There are more than 100 genes which have been identified. இந்த ஜீன் இருந்தா இந்த மாதிரி தான் அவங்க மெட்டபாலிசம் இருக்கும், இந்த ஜீன் இருந்தா இந்த மாதிரி தான் ஒபிசிட்டி வரும். ஸோ அது இப்பெல்லாம் ஜெனட்டிக் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி அந்த ஜீன்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். ஸோ அதை வச்சு அந்த ஜீன் இருக்கவங்க கொஞ்சோண்டு சாப்பிட்டாலும் வெயிட் ஏறிடுவாங்க. ஓகே, இல்ல அந்த ஜீன் இல்லாதவங்க எவ்வளவு சாப்பிட்டாலும் வெயிட் கெயின் நடக்காது. ஓகே, ஸோ தட் இஸ் த ப்ராப்ளம். ஸோ தேர் ஆர் தீஸ் ஜீன்ஸ். ஹவு டு தே அஃபெக்ட் யூ? டிஃபரிங் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இன் ஃபுட். எந்த ஃபுட் பிடிக்கும் பிடிக்காது, எபிலிட்டி டு நோ வித் சில பேருக்கு வந்து நம்ம ஃபுல்லா இருக்கோமா இல்லையானே தெரியாது, நம்ம பாட்டு சாப்பிட்டுட்டே இருப்போம், ரைட்? வில் நெவர் நோ வெதர் வி ஆர் ஃபுல் ஆர் நாட். அதெல்லாம் கூட ஜெனட்டிக்ஸ் தான். Emotional eating, which we'll be seeing. So how it affects your metabolism? One, whether the carbohydrates or fats which we eat can cause weight gain, hunger or feeling full. பசிக்கிறதே நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியாது. சில பேர் வந்து பசிச்சாலுமே they'll be just going with their activity. That's why you see many people who do not have their breakfast and come faint ஆயிடுவாங்க because they are not knowing that they are hungry. Okay, so only when the body doesn't get sugar it faints, they know that they were hungry, right? So that is the thing. And there might be calorie intake also will be affected by genetics. Weight loss also will be affected by genetics. So பட் ஓகே, சரி மேம், அப்ப ஜெனடிக்ஸ் தான் எல்லா வெயிட்டையும் அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணுது. அப்ப நாங்க என்ன பண்ணாலும் மாறாதா? ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் அண்ட் என்விரான்மென்ட்லாம் அப்புறம் எப்படி இதை வந்து அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணும்? ஆல் தட் வி வில் see. There's some other point of genetics called epigenetics, which we'll see how exercise, having a proper body, mind, health, and also following naturopathy practice can influence your epigenetics to work on weight. So அதுக்கு தான் இந்த ஜெனடிக்ஸ் பத்தி இவ்ளோ சொன்னோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ். இதுதான் மெயின். எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும். நம்ம எல்லாருமே வந்து மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் அஸ் would have been in the ideal weight. நான் ஒல்லியா இருந்தேன்னு சொல்ல மாட்டேன். Ideal weight when we were younger. Of course, when we are stressed or when we grow older, we gain weight. எத்தனை பேர் இந்த மீட்டிங்ல இருக்கவங்க சின்ன வயசுல I was in ideal weight அப்படின்னு சொல்லுங்க. இப்போ I have gained weight அப்படின்னு can you put in the chat box? Yes, Mageshwari ji. Yes, we can change it. Yes, Sridevi ji. Yes, I was also like that. I was in a very ideal weight. அப்பெல்லாம் என்ன சாப்பிட்டாலும் ஒண்ணுமே ஆகாது. இப்பெல்லாம் எது சாப்பிட்டாலும் weight gain ஆகுது. அந்த மாதிரி தான் நம்ம எல்லாம் இருக்கோம், right? It is because, of course, when we are stressed. நம்ம எல்லாரும் இந்த ஒரு ஸ்டீராய்ட்ஸ் பத்தி எல்லாருமே கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்போம். ஸ்டீராய்ட்ஸ் அப்படின்னாலே ஒரு பயங்கரமா ஒரு ஸ்டீராய்ட்ஸ்னாலே நம்ம மக்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு பயம் வந்துடும். ஐயோ, டாக்டர் ஸ்டீராய்ட் கொடுத்துருக்காங்களா, சாப்பிடக்கூடாது. கரெக்ட் தான். Yes, steroids சாப்பிடக்கூடாது. Steroid there are a lot of side effects. There are a lot of side effects associated with steroids because it influences your insulin, your sugar. Steroids சாப்பிட்டா sugar ஏறும். Steroids சாப்பிட்டா diabetes வரும். ஏன்? Because steroids ஓட natural analog, அதாவது steroid மாதிரி நம்ம உடம்புல ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகிறதுக்கு பேரு cortisol. Corticosteroids, அந்த ஹார்மோன்ஸ் ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகிறதுக்கு cortisol அப்படிங்கிறது இருக்கும். நம்ம உடம்புக்குள்ளேயே ஸ்டீராய்டு ஹார்மோன் ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகும். and adrenaline produce ஆகும். அது எதுக்கு ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகுது? டு ஃபைட் ஆர் ஃபிளைட். இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், நம்ம பாடி வந்து இந்த நிமிஷம் நம்மள ஓட சொல்றாங்க, we have to run. ஹியூமன் எவல்யூஷன்ல ஒரு பிரெடேட்டர் வருது, ஒரு டைகர் வருது. அப்போ ஓடணும்னா உடம்புக்கு அந்த ஒரு ஃபிளைட் அண்ட் ஃபைட் ரெஸ்பான்ஸை கொடுக்கறதுக்கு கார்டிசோல் அண்ட் அட்ரினலின் வில் பி ப்ரொடியூஸ்ட். அந்த நேரத்துல என்ன ஆகும்னா பிளட் ஃப்ளோ டு த மசில்ஸ்லாம் வந்து இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகி, அலர்ட்னஸ் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகி, blood flow to the digestion கம்மி ஆயிட்டு we will run. That's for adrenaline. Cortisol produces similar effects to combat stressful situations. ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ங்கிறது அந்த காலத்துல வந்து நம்மளோட predator ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸா இருக்கலாம், என்விரான்மெண்ட் கிளைமேட் சேஞ்ச் ஓவர் கம் பண்ற ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸா இருக்கலாம். இதெல்லாம் பாடி தாங்கிறதுக்கு, ஃபைட் பண்றதுக்கு this cortisol is produced. That's why it's produced in humans. Okay, but when you are stressed mentally, நம்ம மென்டல் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் எடுத்தோம்னா வெளியில இருந்து ஸ்டீராய்டே வேண்டாம். உங்க உடம்பே உங்களுக்கான ஸ்டீராய்டு லெவலை நல்லா அதிகப்படுத்தி, அதனாலதான் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும் போது we gain weight. ஏன்னா there is increased appetite, the insulin secretion is becomes problematic. Insulin resistance, இன்சுலின்ங்கிற ஹார்மோன் தான் நம்ம உடம்புல இருக்க சுகர் செல்குள்ள போறதுக்கு it is used to convert the sugar from the glucose to storage form, or for the cells to need ATP or the energy, it is converted. For that, insulin is needed. But insulin will be produced, but the cells will become resistant to insulin. All that will be created by this cortisol. ஒரு நாள் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஆனா பரவாயில்ல, ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஆயிட்டே இருந்து அதை நம்ம ஓவர் கம் பண்ணலனா automatically there will be problems in your weight. Okay, and also other than that, it will affect your brain also. கார்டிசாலும் அட்ரினலினும் கான்ஸ்டன்டா ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆயிட்டு எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் ஃபைட் ஃபிளைட்ல இருந்தோம்னா we will eat when we are not hungry. We'll have decreased ability of the brain to regulate diet and behavior. And when we eat fat rich foods, அதுக்கு தான் பட்டர், சீஸ் அதெல்லாம் பார்த்தோம்னா ஏன் நமக்கு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்டா இருக்கும் போது ஹாப்பியா ஆகுறோம்னா நம்மளோட டோபமின் சிஸ்டம், ரிவார்ட் சிஸ்டம்க்கு இதை சாப்பிட்டா ஒரு பிளஷர் வரும். அந்த பிளஷருக்கு the body is becoming accustomed. That is why we gain weight, we eat badly when we are stressed. Okay, So this balance, the hormone balance also is gone. Satiety, saptoma, and the fullness, adu varadu. So these all will happen. And importantly, sleep will be affected. Fight and flight hormones, stress, cortisol, adrenaline. நீங்க ஸ்டீராய்ட் சாப்பிட்டிருந்தா உங்களுக்கே தெரியும். ஸ்டீராய்ட்ஸ் will affect your sleep. கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லீப் வராம இருந்திருக்கும். நிறைய பேருக்கு ஸ்டீராய்ட் சாப்பிடுற அன்னைக்கு. ஓகே. ஸோ ஆஸ்துமாக்கெல்லாம் ஸ்டீராய்ட் கொடுப்பாங்க இல்லையா? அப்போ உங்களுக்கு சாப்பிடும்போது கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லீப் வராம இருக்கும். பிகாஸ் the sleep quality and duration is affected by constant these hormones. So that will again affect everything. Sleep illana ellame affect ஆகும். So this is how stress and weight are connected. Stress in the long term, it will really create a havoc in your body. உங்க brain, உங்களோட entire metabolism போயிடும். அதுக்கு தான் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஆகக்கூடாது ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸை மேனேஜ் பண்ணணும்னு we tell. Okay, so this is what it is. So obesity. Now BMI calculation எல்லாருக்கும் okay. Okay, I again will ask the question which I had asked. So is there anyone who cannot understand Tamil? Can you put it in the chat box so that I'll go in English? Okay. Yeah, so I had just asked it. We'll wait. Okay, fine. Okay, English. I understand. Sorry, sir. Okay, so what I was telling is, so when you are stressed, okay, I'll just give it in a very brief thing. So when you are stressed, cortisol and adrenaline are increased. These are flight and fight hormones. Little amount of stress, okay, that's for human evolution and human behavior, but large amount of stress will affect your insulin, will create havoc on an entire metabolism, and it goes haywire. So now coming to the BMI calculation, okay, are we really obese? Are we really overweight? Are we really underweight? How do you calculate? So everybody takes a calculator now, okay, your weight in kilograms divided by, for example, I am 172 means you have to convert into meters. What you're telling max and all, ma'am? Yes, you have to convert 172 into meters. It's 1.72 into 1.72. Divide and tell me, few of you at least, what is your BMI? So I'm also doing it. My weight. I am taking my calculator. Can everybody take a calculator in your mobile? So I am dividing my weight divided by height is, for example, 167 centimeters means 1.67 into 1.67 you should do. So I am doing it. Okay. In which class are we? Are you in the ideal weight? Ideal weight is 18 to 25. If you are below 18, underweight. 25 to 29, we are not obese, we are overweight. We should definitely reduce to the ideal weight. Then 30 to 34 is class 1 obesity. 35 to 39 is class 2. Class 3. Can somebody put in the chat box? Are you getting some BMI values? You don't have to put the BMI value. Are you able to calculate? That is what I want to know. Have you calculated? Yes, very good. Thank you, ma'am. So this is what is the
Ma'am, the calculation for height into one, you have to convert the
weight.
meter.
First, you should calculate the height. For example,
Yes,
1.67 into 1.6.
yes, ma'am. My height is 1.73.
Okay, 1.73 to 1.73. You calculate and put one value, sir.
1.73 into 1.73. Our weight is 83 kg.
Okay, 83 divided by whatever you get for 1.73 into 1.73. That you have to divide.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure, sir. Okay. So people who were thinking you were obese, I think some people will be okay that you're overweight. Some people who are thinking you were overweight would have become obese. It's okay. It's just a thing for us to understand. So now, so obesity rates are growing up across the world. We all know it. It has surpassed 1 billion. So what's the total population now? 7 point some billion, right? Of which 1 billion are obese, not overweight, obese. Okay. So this is India's obesity map. In 1990, we were at 1.1%. Now we're at 26%. Unfortunately, women are more obese now than they were before, worldwide and in India. Okay. So in the obesity map, good that we are not in the red color, we are in the green color still. So, and we have lot of natural products and ancient wisdom for us to combat weight management, either underweight or overweight. So again, factors controlling obesity is psychological, biological, and social environmental. So it's the same thing. That's why I'm not covering it. So obesity, we have just seen. Now the risk factors for, we are more focusing on obesity because the weight gain needs more of naturopathy, which Dr. Amuda will be covering, and the psychology part also Neha ma'am will be covering. But for us, for obesity, the risk factors, of course, you know, whatever I told, genetics and all that, but to put it in this way, sedentary lifestyle. That is the major point, and we are all happily in sedentary lifestyle now. Okay, right? We are all working in mostly desk jobs. Even in teaching or professions which involve academics, we don't run and teach, right? We do stand and teach in a certain place. But those days, the food habit were different. The gadgets were different. We now are spending more time in things which need a sedentary lifestyle. Over nutrition. We all keep eating all the time. Okay. Wherever we go, we are all so happy that we keep eating all the time. Okay. Then genetics, of course, that is their environment. Our environment has changed. Socioeconomic status. Nowadays, socioeconomic status is that only the rich get obese. No, nowadays everybody gets obese because of the environment and the food habits. So what are the health problems? Okay, let me be obese. What's the problem? I am beautiful to the eyes of the beholder. What's the problem? No. It's because we will end up with diabetes, cardiac disease, osteoarthritis, knee problem, certain cancers, infertility is on the rise because of all these metabolic issues, obstructive sleep apnea, which means you snore. We all would have seen. The moment we start gaining weight, we start snoring. Okay, so that's obstructive, one part of obstructive sleep apnea. Importantly, when you gain weight, you become depressed, and depression in turn will cause obesity. Okay, so again, junk food, processed food, cold foods, then obesogens. What are these obesogens you're saying, ma'am? Because these obesogens are things like, for example, tributylin, which is found in certain disinfectants. Okay. See, that is why we urge you to use natural products. Okay. Why are we telling don't use plastics? Because one day use of plastic is fine, but we are going to daily use these plastics. Okay. They contain these obesogens like BPA found in certain plastics, which can cause the increase the number and size of fat cells, affect the body's regulation of hunger and fullness, change metabolism by storing calories as fat. What we eat as sugar, when it's not needed by the body for energy, it gets stored as fat. Okay. For example, organophosphates, which are used in insecticides. That's why we are urging you to use organic foods or nature foods. Then organochlorines, which are found in electronic items and pesticides. Phthalates, which are used in plastics. Heavy metals like cadmium, arsenic, lead, which are used in the mining industry, fertilizer industry, wood preservation. All these are called obesogens. These will cause obesity. And there are certain medications which you are taking may cause also obesity. Then some diseases. Water should be taken properly. Even not taking water properly will cause you to become obese. Okay. So now we are coming to the point where with all of this, the genetics playing an important role, environment, diet, why are we having this workshop on naturopathy and yoga? How does it influence our genetics? For that, I will share you a video which I would want you to see, then we'll come back here. Okay. Are you all there? Sleeping? There means tell me yes.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
is my screen visible? The YouTube is visible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
What is genetics? Wait, I've already done that one. What is epigenetics? Genetics is your genes. A gene has a unique sequence to make a protein that does something in your body. A genetic mutation is a change in one or more parts of this sequence. This could just make you, or it could contribute to a genetic disease. An epigenetic change also changes a gene's DNA, but not at the sequence level. Instead, special marks are added or removed that might change how a protein works in the body. And this could also contribute to disease. How these marks appear is a hot research topic, but some causes could be diet, stressor, or environmental pollutants. A genetic mutation is difficult to fix. With epigenetics, we could take a different approach to treating disease by finding ways to remove bad epigenetic marks or add good ones.
So what they are saying is, so genetics, we all know. Gene means in your DNA. Okay, remember, gene is in your DNA. DNA is in every cell, okay? That part you cannot change. It's come from your mother, father, it doesn't change. But for example, insulin is a protein which needs to be produced by a specific gene by the in the pancreatic cell. Insulin, to become the complete functional insulin, there must be something called protein change, which is done by certain epigenetic processes that makes insulin a functional protein. These processes can be altered by proper diet, good environment, proper habits, and a holistic style. That is why epigenetics plays a role, and that is why you can manage your weight by working on this epigenetics. Okay. So this is how, for example, when a child is in a mother's womb, okay, that's why they say the mother should not be stressed, the mother should be happy, because the epigenetic marks in the child will change. Okay, so that is why you should understand that gene may not be changed, but using epigenetics, you can maintain your weight. Okay, for example, there are studies which have told Western diet can cause liver disease, metabolic problems, immune disorders, cancer, diabetes, all of that. But Mediterranean diet, using a lot of vegetables, olive oils and all that, we can have a lean phenotype because of epigenetic reprogramming, and epigenetics may also be crossed to the next generation. That is why if you are not proper, even if you're not bothered, okay, ma'am, I'll be obese, my health, let it go. But you are affecting your future generations also. So that is why we should maintain a healthy weight. That's why weight management becomes essential. Importantly, in this whole holistic thing, the most important influence on your weight is the bacteria in your gut. You should think that I always keep telling in my every webinar or every workshop. One example, how many of you have heard curd rice and bindi or vendakai in Tamil will create intelligence? How many of you have heard that? Put it in the chat box. Curd rice. Yes, it's because curd rice has good bacteria. Vendakai or bindi has the fibers which are needed for the bacteria. So there is a direct connection between the gut and the brain called gut-brain axis. Never forget it. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, unless your gut bacteria is healthy, none of the medicines will work, none of the practices will work. So because when the gut-brain axis is affected, there will be increased LPS production, something called LPS production, increased inflammation, increased insulin resistance, increased LDL, cholesterol, triglycerides, increased depression, increased cognitive impairment, which means we'll not become intelligent, we'll become dumb. That's why when we gain weight, we tend to become dumb, okay? And then memory problems will arise, leading to problems like Alzheimer's. So all of this is dependent on your gut microbiome. So you should eat healthy and have a proper gut microbiome. So for treatments in allopathy, how is it done? For example, if you are in the lowest level, you're in the overweight, you need just 2 to 5% weight loss, then only behavioral intervention and multi-component interventions are sufficient. 5 to 10%, you need to have prescriptive nutritional interventions, which Dr. Amada also will be covering. Then when BMI is above 30, in allopathy, we have certain medications which will reduce weight, endoscopic procedures, surgery. But will I advise it? Definitely. As a personal, I will not advise it, because you remove something which is part of your body. You remove even the good fats. There are bariatric surgery or removal of the fats, liposuction, what they say liposuction, may cause problems in the health. So it's better to go with naturopathy, okay, and yoga and removing your stressors. So Exercise actually affects your genetics, epigenetics in a proper way and improved metabolic phenotypes. That means you will have proper weight management. Okay, ma'am, I will do exercise immediately. I will do for intense cardiac output. So, okay, why should I do intense cardiac? Why should I do intense exercise or intense workout is only when the exercise is above 30 minutes to hours, then only fat starts burning. If you do only for 5 minutes, if you do only for 10 minutes, only the glucose in your body will be used as fuel for the exercise. That is why aerobic exercises and exercises that cross 30 minutes, then only fat will be burnt. Okay, ma'am, from today, I'm going to gym and I'm going to do intense exercise. No, that will affect your heart because it can cause the elevated risk of sudden cardiac arrest. That is why we are telling you yoga is a proper balanced method of exercise to help in obesity as well as weight management because it boosts your metabolism, it aids in fat loss, it improves your digestion, it enhances muscle tone, reduces stress and emotional eating. We'll tell what is emotional eating. It balances your hormones. That's why thyroid problems, insulin resistance, everything will be reduced and encourages mindful eating. And importantly, research has proven that yoga can work at the epigenetic level to help in weight management. There is scientific evidence. Now, what is this emotional hunger I've been telling about? See, we don't eat because we are hungry. We've crossed all that. Humans have become, so bad that we eat when the time is there or we are forced to eat. For example, I go to in the morning, I have breakfast because it's 8 o'clock, I have to leave for work. Okay. Then the next, I go with my colleagues eat something, I grab a mouthful, I eat. Okay. So that is that's called emotional hunger. How do you differentiate between emotional hunger and physical hunger? Sudden urge to eat is emotional. Physical hunger will always be across 5 to 10 minutes. So if you're hungry, you will be continuously hungry when you're physically hungry. But when you're emotionally hungry, that moment you will be hungry. You eat something, you will feel satisfied, but you will feel more guilty and your stomach doesn't become full. And it will occur independent of the time of meal. But physical hunger will occur only when there is time between two meals. So this is emotional hunger and physical hunger. Now over to Amuda ma'am and Neha ma'am to tell you what all you can do. I've given you all the scientific basis. This is a very vast topic, but whatever I've given. So now Neha ma'am and Amuda ma'am will speak to you on what you could do to change your epigenetics or your gut microbiome and have a proper weight management.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Preeti. Namaste all, good evening. All of you there?
Yes,
Yes.
good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening. Yeah. So before I start with my presentation, I would like to know, we would have heard of so many remedies for weight loss or weight gain, from people just from hearsay. It is, if you eat this, you'll lose weight. If you eat this, you'll gain weight, So what and all remedies have you heard of and what and all have you been following? You can just quickly put in the chat box. Just 1 minute or so, you can just quickly type it in the chat box or you can even unmute yourselves and say those to me. Honey, lemon water, okay. Other remedies, what and all have we heard of? Magical remedies, magical drinks to lose weight. Yoga's remedy, yes, very true. Apart from that, காலை எழுந்தோனே இதை குடிச்சிருங்க சூடா weight கடகடன்னு குறைஞ்சிரும். Lot of Instagram reels, diet, walking, yoga. Yes. Inflammation drink, reduce carb and increase protein, no food after 6 p.m. Okay, ginger with lemon water. Okay. I want to know, are all of these helping you? Yes, no? No, no, no. And why? What is the reason that these particular remedies are not helping you? Any idea? Reduce rice, add more vegetables and fruit. Okay, why is it not working for us? Why aren't all these magical drinks and
Might
superfoods?
be hereditary.
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Might be hereditary.
Might be hereditary. Okay.
Might be hereditary.
Yeah, okay. Apart from that, intermittent fasting help, but had other issues. Okay. Only hereditary reasons that why we are not losing the weight even after following all this?
No, might be too much stress. Sometimes we thought we are following it, but then we are eating so much to compensate what are all the stress caused by eating those things.
Yes. Okay.
Improper sleep.
Improper sleep. Yes, very true. Okay. Okay, fine. Right. So let me just share my screen and we'll move on to our presentation. Emotional reasons and cravings. Yes, I saw that. Thank you. Is my screen visible?
Not yet, ma'am.
Not yet.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
now it's visible.
Yeah, now it's there. Okay. All right, yes. So, yes, I'm Dr. Amuda. I'm a naturopathy and yoga physician. So, I'll be handling the naturopathy and yoga aspect of weight management today. Yeah, so moving on. So, first, we'll be focusing on weight loss. Yes, so I won't say that, there's specific things for weight loss and there's specific things for weight gain, respectively. Because in naturopathy, we focus on a wholesome diet for both weight loss and weight gain. Yeah, so this will just be a general outline as to how we can formulate our diet, etc. So the first line here says metabolism improving foods or herbs. You remember Dr. Preeti was explaining about metabolism related issues which can also cause imbalance in your weight and also your hormones. Yes, because the majority of your health depends on your gut, and it also depends on how well you're able to digest whatever you're eating. Yeah, so your digestion and your digestion hormones, your gut bacteria, everything plays a very good important role in maintaining your harmony of your health. Yeah, both physical and mental. So that's where these metabolism improving foods or herbs come into play, like say for example ginger, lemon, turmeric, cinnamon, garlic, coconut oil, and fennel seeds. All these are researched and proven foods which tend to have a metabolism improving capacity in them. So like say for example, people who are underweight, some of them, like most of them, tend to have a very fast metabolism. Okay, so what happens is the food does not get absorbed properly, the nutrients do not get absorbed properly, but the food gets digested very fast and it's sent into the intestines for the excretion process. So there's no proper absorption or there's malabsorption. Okay, but not for everybody, but for most of them. And similarly, for people who are overweight, there's something called as a very sluggish metabolism. Like by sluggish metabolism, I mean the metabolism is very slow. Yeah, the food, it gets digested very slowly, and also the nutrients absorption, again, there is also a malabsorption happening. Okay, so the metabolism has to be in a very normal pace according to your age, your height, and your weight. So we'll be talking about that. Okay. Next is detoxifying herbs or food. So what does this detoxification mean? What does the term detoxification mean to all of you? Yeah, have you heard of it? Detox panna, nalla weight loss iron. Yeah, have you heard of it? What does the term detox mean to you? You can put in the chat box or you can unmute and tell. Just a line about detox. What is detox?
Taking away the intoxic substances from our body.
Okay. Removing toxins. Okay, what are these toxins? Very easy. Detoxifying is removing toxins. But what are toxins? What and all do you identify as toxins in your body?
Some undigested food that has been stored inside the colon or something which doesn't come out of our system, but it is stored there for a very long time and it turns into toxin waste or something.
Understood. Yes. Yes, very true. Okay. From foods and medicines, urea and uric acid, byproducts of our digestive processes. Byproducts of our digestive processes are not toxins. They are excretory materials. Okay. By toxins, what we mean is, like, say, for example,
Excess protein.
Sorry, ma'am?
Excess protein kind of.
Excess protein, yes, anything in excess does become toxin. Yes, very true. That is what I was about to tell you. So your body, in general, it needs a specific amount of all the nutrients and all the food groups are present. Like say, for example, my body, depending on my age, my weight, and my height, will require so much amount of carbohydrate, so much amount of protein, so much amount of fat, and so much amount of probiotic and prebiotic. Okay. But without knowing that, that is what we call as mindful eating. Yeah, in naturopathy. So what happens is, without knowing your body's requirement, either if we go under under calorie intake or over calorie intake, that becomes more of a toxicity. Especially the over calorie intake becomes more like a toxicity. So that toxicity over time develops into a condition called as toxemia. Toxemia in general, accumulation of toxins leading to inflammation, leading to a swelling in your body is called as toxemia. Okay. And in naturopathy, we believe that toxemia is the primary cause of any kind of disease in your body, not only for putting on weight or reducing weight, but for any kind of disease, be it thyroid, be it diabetes, be it PCOS, or just normal hormonal imbalances, inability to sleep properly, all these very basic discomfort or diseases which arise in your body is a reason that there's some kind of toxemia happening in your body. Yeah. So for which these detoxifying herbs or foods, they come into play. Like say, for example, ashgard, lemon, beetroot, cucumber, cruciferous vegetables, watermelon, tender coconut, anything which has a lot of water content in it has a proven detoxifying effect in it. Yeah. Like say, for example, ashgard is again a vegetable with full of lot of water content. Cucumber again has a lot of water content. Watermelon, water content. Okay. Tender coconut is also water content. So water in general plays a very good role in detoxifying your body, and removing these toxins from your body is very much necessary for maintaining your hormones and also for improving your health. Moving on to rich in fiber to help satiety and digestion. Why is fiber important in your diet? What does fiber do? We have all learned this in our biology classes. Yes, if we can recollect and say, why is fiber important? Why is fiber important? Anybody?
Fiber improves digestion and
Okay.
you know, um,
Okay, fine. Fiber improves digestion. Fine. Anybody else? Easily digestible. Okay.
Relieves constipation.
Yes, very true. Removes constipation, removes accumulation in guts, removes waste sediments. Yes, very true. Keeps one feeling full. Exactly. All right. So when there is a proper amount of fiber in every meal of yours, fiber tends to reduce cravings. It tends to reduce your binge eating. It tends to, after a meal, we tend to not feel full, so most of the time we'll feel like, the patala, I want some more, I want to go. So we go inside, we tend to snack on something. We eat one chips or one sweet piece or something like that. That is because we did not have enough amount of fiber in our diet. So once there's enough amount of fiber in our diet, it not only improves our metabolism, it improves the proper digestion of our food. It relieves constipation as discussed by all of us right now. And it also helps in reducing cravings. It helps you to feel full. That feeling of fullness is what is called as satiety. So once you reach the satiety after a meal, that is when it indicates that you have had your perfect meal and it has been properly utilized by your body. So that satiety has to come naturally, and there should not be any kind of craving after your meal has been taken inside. So in our meals after the kaprama, I'm craving for sugar, I'm craving for sweet, I'm craving for something salty. All these indicates that there is very less amount of fiber in your diet, which is leading to some sort of hormonal imbalance. That is why you're craving. Yes, so this cravings, to help with the cravings, you're supposed to have foods rich in fiber in your meal. Like we all know fiber rich foods like leafy greens, raw fruits and vegetables, salads, whole grains like millets, brown rice, quinoa, all these are actually foods rich in fiber. So try and start inculcating all of these into your diet so that your diet becomes very balanced, right? Next, rich in proteins and healthy fats, again to suppress craving. So along with fiber, you're supposed to have a good amount of protein, because protein is what will help you in developing your muscles. So what we have as fat surrounding your body is not muscle. Okay, it's just fat accumulation, which is not good for the body because it tends to put pressure on your important organs. Yeah, as a result of which your organs are under pressure, so they don't work efficiently. So to remove these fats and to improve your muscle mass, once your muscle mass is improved, automatically you will have a more leaner body and a more stronger body. Yeah, so that is where your proteins come in play. So your proteins and your healthy fats, not your unhealthy, all these processed fats, nothing like that. Your healthy fats like nuts and seeds, your avocados, all these are healthy fats. And your sprouts, your chana dal, all your pulses, your sundal types and all these form your protein content. So you should formulate your meal in such a way that there's proper amount of carbohydrates, there's proper amount of fiber, there's proper amount of proteins and healthy fats. All right. Now coming to the probiotic and the prebiotic foods, which were discussed by Dr. Preeti, which is actually very important for our gut health. Okay, so we also call them as fermented foods. So probiotic and prebiotic. Probiotic foods are the foods which contain the gut healthy bacteria inside them. Like for example, we'll be discussing the examples in the next slide. Like idli and dosa batter, we tend to ferment it overnight. And that fermentation process is what makes sure that the bacteria is present inside the batter. So once you cook them, so you're actually eating a bacteria which is necessary for your gut health. Okay, so those become your probiotic foods. And prebiotic foods are something which are food for the bacteria. Like say, for example, lady's finger, which was discussed by Dr. Preeti. The lady's finger has a component in it, so which when eaten, it directly goes to the gut and it helps support the gut health or helps support the bacteria in your gut to grow healthily. Yeah, so that is where your prebiotic foods come into play. Now, probiotic மட்டும் சாப்பிட்டு விட்டுறேன், நான் prebiotic சாப்பிடல அப்படின்னா, already you have some bacteria present inside them. So if you take only one, it's not going to satisfy it. So there has to be a balance between your prebiotic and your probiotic. So always plan your meal where there's a combination of all of these. Then hydration to aid in proper digestion and metabolism, right? Our body, just like our earth, is made up of 70% of water. And water is the only thing which not only helps in detoxification, it improves circulation. So once it improves circulation, what happens is there's good amount of blood flow to each and every part of your body. There's good amount of vital nutrients flowing in. There's good amount of oxygen flowing in. So once there's everything flowing in properly, what happens is there is a good refreshed feeling for your body. There is a good detoxifying effect in your body with just simple water. Yes, examples of prebiotic foods I'll be discussing in the next slide. Yes, okay. Yes, so as I was telling, hydration is very, very important. So not just these detoxifying juices, if those are very difficult, our normal water intake, just normal water, 3 to 3.5 liters per day, irrespective of the season, irrespective of you're feeling thirsty or not, irrespective of you're urinating or not, you should drink 3 to 3.5 liters on an average per day to aid in proper health of your body. Water is a magical drink. There are no other magical drinks necessary for your body. Water in itself is a natural and a very magical drink which has so much amount of properties. Yes. Next is maintaining a proper calorie intake as per your individual's BMR. So, have you heard of this term BMR? What is BMR and what does it mean? Anybody? BMR.
Body mass
Chat box
ratio.
or- Sorry, ma'am.
Body mass ratio.
No.
Basic metabolic rate, if I'm not wrong.
Basic metabolic rate. All right. Okay. Anybody else?
Basal metabolic rate.
Base
Ah,
metabolic
yes.
ratio.
Yes, basal metabolic rate. Okay. So what does this mean? Basal metabolic rate. What does this mean? We all know the full form now. What does this mean? What does the term mean to you? What can you understand from the term basal metabolic rate?
According to our metabolism, how much calorie we need per day?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Very true. So as ma'am said, how much calories our body needs per day is what we call as BMR. And depending on your BMR only, your BMI is also formed. Okay, like say for example, I'll be talking about this in the next slide also. So say for example, I'm just giving an example. My required calorie intake per day is somewhere around 1,800 calories only. I calculate my BMR and I get to know that 1,800 calories is my calorie intake. Okay. So if I tend to have a calorie intake of like say 2,000 or 2,100 or 2,200 per day, that leads to weight gain. And if I'm not meeting my sufficient calorie intake for a day, that leads to underweight. Okay. So maintaining this calorie intake, depending on your age, depending on your height, and depending on your weight is very, very mandatory to maintain your proper physique and also for your proper health. Yeah, so this BMR is what plays a very major role if you're looking for a weight management. So not focusing on the calories and just drinking these detoxifying juices or these, honey water and lemon and this warm water, taking n number of steam baths, etc. And then you are looking like I'm not losing weight. Why? Even though after doing all of this, I'm walking 10,000 steps a day, I'm walking 15,000 steps a day, I'm doing 1.5 hours of exercise, but still I'm not losing it because you're not into a calorie deficit plan. Calorie deficit along with proper physical activity is what will help in healthy, sustainable weight loss. So weight loss, which is going to keep sustaining for a long period of time, depends on the calories you take in. you work out for 1.5 hours, but then you end up eating 2,200 calories, you're still going to put on weight only, or you're not going to lose weight. Yeah, so calorie deficit along with the proper physical activity is what will help in proper weight loss, right? And then proper sleep hygiene and regular sun exposure, not just for weight loss, but for weight gain also. Sleep is where your body restores itself. It regenerates only when it's sleeping. So only when you have a quality sleep of 7 to 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours without any disturbances, it is nice and deep and sleep. And once you wake up in the morning, you should feel refreshed. So that kind of sleep hygiene is very, very necessary. No, ma'am, I have to work late in the night, so I'll compensate my sleep in the daytime. No. That doesn't, I mean, your body doesn't work that way. Once it starts getting dark, and the body starts secreting the hormones which are necessary for your sleep, because your body can identify the darkness, the natural darkness. So there are some amount of hormones which secrete in your body only after it's nighttime, which are responsible for your sleep. So the more amount of artificial light you use in the night, that's going to lead again to a lot of hormonal imbalances, giving you difficulty in sleeping. So always try to have a proper sleep schedule and a regular sun exposure. Sun exposure, I mean, after the sun rises, initial 1.5 hours, or before the sun sets in the last 1.5 hours. 20 minutes will be sufficient. Wear a minimal clothing, just go in the sun and just immerse yourself in sun, or just do a meditation sitting under the sun, or you can just do a normal walking under the sun. So 20 minutes of regular sun exposure again tends to boost your metabolism, regulates your hormone. It also regulates your mood. If you're feeling very angry, if you're feeling stressed, you regularly have mood swings, or during your PMS, you have a very bad mood swings. So all these tends to get regulated when you go in the sun regularly. Yes, that's basically vitamin D. So vitamin D is very, very important for your regular metabolism and also for your biological clock function, right? And then avoiding sugary, processed and fried food. Why sugary, processed and fried food should be avoided if you're looking for weight gain or weight loss? Okay, whatever it is, avoiding sugary, processed and fried food is because of something which was discussed by Dr. Preeti, because of something called as insulin resistance. Yes. Yes, my migraine, I'll come to it. Yeah, okay. So avoiding sugary, processed or fried food is because, did anybody speak? Anything?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Does the sugar include country sugar also?
All forms of sugar, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yes. So yeah, as ma'am had asked, country sugar, jaggery, palm sugar, whatever sugar it is, you have a specific amount which is needed by your body. Like say, for example, 5 grams. Anything exceeding 5 grams, whatever kind of sugar, whatever kind of honey it is going to become toxins only in your body. Yeah. So sugar, processed and fried food, because they develop something called as insulin resistance. So insulin is what is going to uptake all the glucose in your body. So what happens when you so all these sugary, processed and fried food, they tend to have a lot of unwanted carbohydrates in them. So once you keep eating them, there's going to be a lot of glucose molecules in your blood, so which do not get uptaken by the present amount of insulin molecules in a body. As a result of which, there is a lot of glucose molecules which tend to go and settle in your most of your major muscle areas as fat. Okay, like say for example, your lower abdomen, your thighs, your glutes. So all these tend to have the major amount of fat in them because of insulin resistance. Yes. So to avoid insulin resistance or to reduce insulin resistance, avoiding the sugary, processed and fried food is very, very mandatory. Okay. All right. Yes. So moving on to the next slide. Right. So before going on to all these examples, I've given 2 equations here. So this is for calculating your BMR, that is your basal metabolic rate. You will get to know how many calories you need as an individual, okay, on an average. I won't say this is like, the perfect example. This is the exact amount of calories you need. This is just a rough equation which can give you a rough idea or an approximate value of how many calories you need per day. Okay. I would request all of you to just calculate it quickly in a minute or so. For men is the first formula. For women is the second formula. Yes, you'll just have to follow the formula and just calculate, and you can just mention the calories which you got. You can just mention it in the chat box. Yes, I would request everybody to take a minute to follow it. For men, it will be 10 into your weight in kg plus 6.25 into your height in centimeter minus 5 into your your age in years and plus 5 at the last. For women, it will be 10 into your weight in kg plus 6.25 into height in centimeter minus 5 into your age minus 161. So this was the equation which is formulated by Mifflin Sengier. So he has come up with this equation for calculating your BMR. We all know how to calculate BMI, but I myself I have not calculated my BMR for since a long time. So I think we all will not do that on a regular basis. So let us try doing it today. Yes, have any of you calculated? Or all of you calculating? Yes, no? Okay, I've got one response. Yes, so how all of you have got your values? One or two of you can just mention the values you've got. What are the values you've got? What is your calorie intake required per day? Anybody? Srividya ma'am, Divya ma'am, you have put that you have calculated. Yes, 1941.
1,753.
1753. Okay. Anybody else? 1442, 1587. Yes. So you can see that every individual's value varies. Okay. So we cannot give out a very generalized diet plan to everybody and ask them to follow this for weight loss or weight gain, because everybody's body is different. Everybody's calorie intake differs. Okay. So now you have got a value. So that will be your calorie intake, or that will be the required amount of calories for your body for a normal day. If you're looking for a weight loss, like say, for example, Nakshatra ma'am's calorie intake is 1540. Okay. So if ma'am is looking for weight loss or weight gain, if weight loss, she has to go in for a 200 to 300 calories lesser. If it's 1500, ma'am has to go in for 1200. Okay. Or even 1100. But if she's looking for weight gain, she has to go somewhere for 1600 or 1700. Okay. So calorie deficit or calorie increased diet plan is what is going to help you with weight loss and weight gain respectively. Okay. So we will have to formulate your diet accordingly. So that is why in naturopathy, we keep emphasizing on customized diet plans, customized yoga routine, because everybody's body is different. Okay. All right. So here I've just given a normal picturized example of how your diet should be. An example of a balanced diet. You'll just have to divide your plate into 4 equal parts, where 25% is for your carbohydrates, 25% is for your protein, 10% is for your fat, and 40% is for your fruits and vegetables. Yeah. Along with that, a good probiotic and a prebiotic should be there. If you're having buttermilk as a probiotic, you can actually have 250 ml of buttermilk or 100 grams of curd. Yeah, so all these, and the examples of probiotic and prebiotic foods are also given in this slide. For probiotic, you have paneer, you have your curd, you have your idli, buttermilk, dosa, green peas, soya milk, pickles, and your dokla. Again, pickles is just given in here, but pickles tend to have a lot of oil in them. So it is better that you use it very, very minimally. Yeah, and not as a major food component in your diet. Okay. And then prebiotic foods include your green bananas, your onion, your garlic, your cabbage, your radish, your apples, and your lady's finger, of course. It is not given here. So all these are examples of prebiotic and probiotic foods. All right. Okay. Okay. So water intake recommendations, which we all know. If a child is 1 to 3 years old, 0.9 to 1 liter. Children 4 to 8 years old, 1.3 liters. Girls 9 to 13 years old, 1.5 liters. Boys 9 to 13 years old, 1.7 liters. Women 14 and over, 1.6 liters. Men 14 and over, 2 liters. But now, given the weather condition, given the amount of food, and given the amount of kind of lifestyle we are in, 3 to 3.5 liters for an average woman and an average man is what is necessary as a water intake. Yeah, so 3 to 3.5 liters is very much needed for your body. Right? And how much amount of sleep? Again, for adults here, it says 7 to 8 hours a day, which is actually mandatory. So try to inculcate 7 to 8 hours of sleep per day. Or I should say per night, not day. Don't compensate the sleep during the daytime. During your night, please try to sleep at least 7 to 8 hours. Right. And this is just a rough yoga schedule or a general yoga schedule for weight loss, basically. Or I won't say like weight loss, because yoga tends to tone your body, it tends to tone your muscle groups, it tends to strengthen your muscle groups. So as it strengthens your muscle groups, your muscles also tend to grow. So once your muscles tend to grow, for those who are looking for weight gain, they tend to have a good weight gain. And for those who are looking for a weight loss, the excess fat around the muscles tends to just, they just tend to melt away, and the muscles tend to become stronger. So you'll experience a natural weight loss also. So yoga is majorly for toning your body. Yeah. So this toning is brought in by Surya Namaskar, Trikonasana, Virabhadrasana, Setubandhasana, Naukasana. So most of these asanas are being covered in our yoga classes, both online and offline. Yeah. So if any of my participants are here, we would have already done most of these asanas and pranayam. This is just a rough schedule of yoga and pranayama for weight loss. Right. Then moving on to something called as hydrotherapy. So hydrotherapy is nothing but treatment of various diseases with water. Okay, so here we'll be focusing on weight loss basically. So where hydrotherapy, contrast showers will actually help in weight loss and weight gain. When there's something called as contrast, it's going to help with both weight loss and weight gain. So by contrast, I mean you start with, you're going to alternate between hot and cold water while just taking bath. So you're going to start with warm water for 3 to 4 minutes, and then you're going to switch to cold water for 30 to 60 seconds. And then you're just going to keep repeating the cycles for 3 to 5 times, ending with cold water. So that is going to tone your body. It's going to tone your nerves, tone your muscles. So as a result of which you have a good weight loss as well as weight gain, whatever you're looking for, right? And then warm water baths. This is majorly for weight loss, like, how steam and sauna helps. Same way, hot helps in detoxifying your body. It tends to release all the toxins from your body, thereby reducing inflammation and helping in weight loss. Yes, so warm water baths, cold water immersion, again to tone your body. So anything which is going to tone your body will help with both weight loss and weight gain, and anything warm will help with weight loss. Yeah, and pain relieving, obviously, but that is not the topic for today. So warm water baths, steam baths, and sauna are majorly for weight loss, whereas cold water immersion and contrast showers, they help in body toning, improving the body strength, and also boosting the metabolism. Yeah. L4, L5 problem I have, can I do yoga? Yes, you can, but you have specific poses which can be done and which should not be done, for which you're supposed to take a personalized consultation. And is normal curd good enough? Yes, 100% good enough. Or do we need to buy the? No, not necessarily. Normal curd is very much enough. Okay. Right. So moving on to a healthy weight gain. So what can I do for a healthy weight gain? So shall I eat whatever I can? Okay, I'll eat a lot of burgers, I'll eat lots of pizza so that I get, I get more calories and I gain weight in a very sudden way. But that becomes very unhealthy. So the more amount of pizzas and burgers and more amount of processed food you have, you're going to increase your stress levels in your body. Your cortisol hormone is going to keep increasing in your body, as a result of which you tend to accumulate unwanted fat. Okay. So for a healthy weight gain, you're supposed to eat small, nutrient-dense meals at frequent intervals. Okay? Based on your calories, based on your calorie requirement for your weight gain, you're supposed to plan your meals accordingly so that you have small meals at regular intervals. Like say, for example, 2.5 hours once or 3 hours once, you tend to have a small meal, not a major meal. Your breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be your major meal, and your small meals in between will become your small meals. Okay, so you're just supposed to plan your meal accordingly so that you have small, nutrient dense. It has to be very balanced. Even your weight gain you're looking for has to be very healthy and balanced. Okay, and you're supposed to include a lot of soaked almonds, cashews, walnuts, and peanuts. Once you soak them, there's something called as osmosis happening, which tends to increase the nutrients of it. Okay, and these almonds, cashews, walnuts, and peanuts, they are actually healthy fats. Starting your day with healthy fats will actually help in boosting your metabolism, and also will help in hormonal regulation, and will also help reduce your cravings throughout the body, throughout the day. Yeah.
Mommy,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just about to finish. Can we just have that doubt a little later, ma'am? Will that be okay?
Mommy, நீங்க வந்து
Oh, fine. Moving on, again, include lots of raisins, figs, and dates. Raisins, figs, and dates are natural sugars, naturally occurring sugars. Okay, idle the extract panna sugar na taniya sapadava? No. These are whole sugars, like whole you're going to have them. Yeah, you can include them in your diet. So if you're craving for a sweet, you can, mix milk and dates and have it as a milkshake. Okay, so like that you can do it if you're craving for something sweet, rather than adding just normal sugar or honey to it. Okay, then whole grains and seeds, again, for a healthy fat content in it. And herbal remedies like ashwagandha and warm milk, shatavari, and triphala. Okay, so all these are again responsible for your proper metabolism and proper hormonal balance. If there's hormonal imbalance also, you tend to become very much underweight. Okay, so these triphala, ashwagandha, and shatavari are 3 major herbs which help in maintaining your proper metabolism, and also for proper metabolism, and also for regulating your hormones. Yeah. Again, detox and proper hydration, as I was already discussing, not only for weight loss, it's important for weight gain as well. Regular sun exposure and sleep, yes, mandatory for proper weight loss and weight gain. And again, these are some yoga poses which tend to tone the major muscles of your body. Like say, for example, Bhujangasana tones the spinal nerves, your spinal muscles. Paschimottanasana is very good for your core muscles. Virabhadrasana again is for your thigh muscles. Dhanurasana is for your entire glutes and your back muscles. Yes, so all these tend to tone the major group of your muscles, as a result of which you tend to experience a very good strength and a muscle building capacity in your body. Yeah. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation for today. Yes, I think over to Neha ma'am for the psychological aspect. I thank one and all for listening. And if I've missed any doubts, I think we can take it towards the end of the session. Yes, thank you so much all. Over to you, Neha ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you, Amata ma'am. Thank you very much. So hope my voice is audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
So thank you, Preeti ma'am and Amata ma'am for laying the groundwork. So that actually makes my work a lot more easier. So now I'm going to start with something that is really gonna surprise you all. It can come as a shock for few of you. It might come as a relief for few of you. So biopsychologically, evolutionarily, our body is made to gain weight. Our body, research has proved, is made to fight against weight loss. So no matter how much effort we take, there will always be a tendency to increase weight. I know this is a shock, but let's look at how it is going to help us out. So why is this tendency there? So before we started wearing these sophisticated clothing and sitting in front of the laptop, our ancestors were basically hunters. They were food gatherers. The Stone Age man didn't have much option. He had to go out in the field, hunt or gather food, right? So there would be periods where they would get lots of food, and there would be periods of total starvation where they will not get any food. So the body has got trained to store food. So whenever the body gets food, it stores it in forms of calories, in forms of fats. And when we undergo a period of starvation, that is when these stored foods and calories fats and calories were used. But what is the difference to that day and this day? Today, we live in an obesogenic environment. When I say obesogenic environment, that means very low physical work and very high access to calorie-rich food. We have such easy access to calorie-rich food. I mean, I can just open my mobile and I have the access to whatever food I want. I don't even have to walk to the hotel. I can sit here and order. Then you would be like, ma'am, okay, you say Stone Age man had that problem, but even our grandparents were healthy. They were not thin. I mean, they were not fat, they were thin. Yes. How many of you have heard your grandparents say that they are 1 in 20 children or 1 in 10 children, or they came up in a very hard way? They struggled to get food on a daily basis. Today, we don't struggle like that, right? That is why we live in an obesogenic environment. In fact, I don't know how many of you have seen a US series called as Biggest Loser. It was there in the 90s. Any 90s kids here? There was one show called as The Biggest Loser. They used to show it on Discovery, where they used to select people who were extremely fat or obese, and they used to, yes, thank you, Divya ma'am, you have seen it, I'm glad. So they used to make them lose weight. Okay. Over a period of 3 months or 6 months, these people would lose weight. But it was found later that after 3 years to 5 years, these people again gained the same amount of weight. So now here comes my question. How many of us have been told that you don't have the willpower? That is why you are not able to lose weight. you have been, yes, thank you, Srividya ma'am. So how many of you have been told that you are not taking efforts? That is why you are not able to lose weight. It's not about willpower. It is not about not taking efforts. It's about our body's basic tendency. So the baseline is doing exercise for 3 months, following diet for 6 months will not help you. It has to be a constant effort. It has to go on day in and day out. Just because you do it for a year, just because you do it for 3 years, it will not happen. So let it be weight loss or weight gain. It has to be constant day in and day out. That is why, because that is how our body has been made. Okay, so I welcome you all to today's last part of the webinar, that is rebalance and review the psychological aspects. So now coming to this part of when we were taking in efforts, how many of us were told that you are too fat? I mean, you can even put it in the chat box. How many of you have been told that you are fat, you are thin? I mean, our society usually has standards, you know, you are fat, you are thin, you are beautiful, right? So how many of you have been put up in the society telling that, yes, I have faced it, Punita ma'am says so, that you are too fat, you should reduce weight, or you are too thin, oh my God, do you even eat food? Or do you just smell food, right? Yes, we have got a few answers who say that, yes, they have faced it, right? So what exactly happens is psychologically, we are bought in constant shame by the society. In fact, nowadays in school, bullying also happens, which leads to us downing ourselves. That is called as self-downing. Whatever the world is saying, we judge us based on that. We judge ourselves based on that. And we say that, no, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not taking the effort. Oh, I don't have the willpower. That leads to loss of hope. Very use. Why should I do this much? Leave it. Any which ways, I'm not going to lose my weight. So why should I take the effort? So there goes a loss of hope, and that leads to the abandonment of efforts, which again leads to shame, which again leads to self-downing, and which again leads to loss of hope and abandonment of efforts. Yes, Kalyan. Yes, Kalyani ma'am, looking at your photo, you feel ashamed. Why? Like Preeti ma'am told, because we have been always shown in the TV that this is how an ideal woman should look. She should not be too thin, or man for that matter, should not be too thin or too fat. Muscles, biceps, triceps, curves, these things have been ingrained in our brain. Wherever we look, we see, I mean, how many holdings do you see, boards, sorry, not holding, boards do you see when you are driving, which talk about loss of weight, which talk about even the models who are wearing the dresses, they all look so perfect. The perfect leads us to get into shame. The perfect makes us down ourselves, leads to loss of hope and abandonment of effort. So how to overcome it? Okay, psychologically we have understood. It's not of any use unless we put it to practice. So I want you to quickly grab a paper and pen nearby, whichever paper, pen, whatever you have nearby, quickly grab one pen and paper and be back. Give me a yes in the chat box once you get paper and pen. Okay, a few of you have started getting the pen and paper. Thank you very much. I hope the others are also taking it, getting one. So let us first have a thought swap. Let us first work psychologically. Okay, I want you to write down 3 thoughts about yourself that makes you down yourself, that you feel ashamed of. Like, I am fat, or I am too thin, or I'm not perfect, or I am not healthy, I am obese, or dresses don't fit me, or the dresses are too big for me. You can write anything. So you have to just write down. You don't even need to draw a table and all. Just write down on one side of the paper what are the thoughts that are currently affecting your day-to-day life. You can write down 3 thoughts. And
Ma'am,
once you
uh,
have done writing those 3 thoughts, you can just put a thumbs up in the chat box.
ma'am, I don't have these kind of thoughts, but rather I feel like very bad that I cannot able to be as active as I
Any
used to be
3
when I was
thoughts.
little.
I'm fat. I'm fat. I'm too thin. I'm not beautiful. I'm not perfect. Any 3 thoughts. If you have finished writing, just put a thumbs up in the chat box so that I get an idea. Okay, we have got a few yes now. Okay, yes, we have also got a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Now I want you to replace it with thoughts that are not totally positive. You cannot go from negative to positive. I am fat, in the direct I am thin. I believe I am thin. I believe I am healthy. Appdi poha mudiyadu. We have to come to a middle path. Okay. So let us not deny what is true, but let us put it in a proper way. Like if you have written I am fat, you can write I am above the expected weight. Hence I'm working to become healthy. Hence I'm doing exercise. Hence I'm following diet. Okay. If you are feeling like another one example is I'm too thin, then just replace it with like, okay, I'm healthy and I'll accept suggestions from people who accept me as I am. You need not write the same wordings, but come to a middle path wherein you accept yourself and also give yourself a reasoning, because your brain always understands reasoning. If you only tell your brain, I am healthy, it will never accept. You have to give it a reason. So if you're going to say, I'm above the expected weight, but I'm working out, it will feel assured. I am healthy, I'm not too thin, I'm healthy, and I'll accept suggestion from people who accept me as I am. Okay. Mm. Okay, so Divya ma'am has put, I only feel that I'm not healthy and flexible like before. So maybe Divya ma'am, you can say that my flexibility is lesser than it was before, and hence I'm doing yoga, or I'm starting to do yoga to regain my flexibility. Okay, Gayatri ma'am, you need not speak courageously about whatever you want to communicate. That is a totally different aspect, which we will speak to you regarding. So if you can just put in the group, I mean, in the chat box as to what you want to communicate, maybe we can help you. So I want you all to write such sentences, and these sentences will become your affirmations. So Divya ma'am, hope I have cleared your doubt. Maybe you can put something like, rather than saying I'm not healthy, say that I'm not as healthy as much I expect myself to be, and hence I am taking whatever methods I can to become healthy. I'm not taking care of my health. So rather than saying that, can you say, okay, I'm not able to take care of myself. So let me set boundaries as to through which I can take care of myself. So then you are going into a problem solving mode. Kalyani ma'am, in the next slides, I'll be explaining you how we can do that. Okay. So Gayatri ma'am, welcome. Sri Vidya ma'am, you have put trying to reduce weight, come out of depression and mood swings. Okay, there are many. Let's focus at one. Trying is a very beautiful word. Trying to reduce weight. So this itself is a good thing. You have written it positively. So I'm trying to reduce weight by doing dash dash dash, that you can put up, ma'am. Okay. So with this, these replaced thoughts that you are going to write, I want you all to write it down in pieces of paper and stick it near the mirror where you get ready every day. And repeat it to yourself and see how it changes. Just follow it for 21 days and let us know how the outcome is. Okay. So next, now I'll give you a tip of how you can eat good food, enjoy the food, also not compromise on the portion. So how many of you can tell me out of these 3 plates, which has most food? The first, the second, or the third?
I think everything has equal food, but the small plate looks like it has lot of food.
All are the same. Yes, Srividya ma'am, you are right. All are the same. But what we are going to do is we are going to trick our brain a bit. Okay. Our brain is also like a baby. If it's like a சின்ன பாப்பா, ஒரு சின்ன பாப்பாக்கு வந்து நம்ம வந்து கொடுத்துட்டோங்கிற அந்த ஃபீலிங் வச்சுட்டானா அந்த பாப்பா வில் பி வெரி ஹாப்பி. ஓகே, அதே மாதிரி தான் நம்ம வந்து நம்ம பிரெயினையும் ட்ரிக் பண்ண போறோம். என்னன்னா பெரிய பிளேட்ல கம்மி சைஸ் எடுத்துட்டோம்னா ஐயோ கம்மியா சாப்பிடுறோம், we are having less food will be our thought. So there is a Japanese technique. If you have seen Japanese people having their food, they will always have it in small bowls. சின்ன சின்ன பவுல்ல சாப்பிடுவாங்க. சின்ன பிளேட்ல சின்ன பவுல்ல சாப்பிடுச்சு ஃபுல்லா எடுத்துக்கிற மாதிரி ஃபீலிங் இருக்கும். சேம் போர்ஷன் தான். நீங்க டெய்லி 2 ஸ்பூன் 2 கரண்டி சாதம் போட்டுக்கிறீங்கன்னா அது சின்ன பிளேட்ல சாப்பிடுங்க. நம்ம இன்ஃபேக்ட் இன் Tamil culture they say that you should have your plates big. In fact, I get scolding many times in my house that why are you using a small plate? But the truth is, smaller plates will help us feel that we are having a full plate of food. So we are psychologically tricking our brain, telling that நான் நிறைய சாப்பிட்டேன். Because we have something called as psychological hunger. To satiate that, we can do this. அதே மாதிரி யூஸ் சின்ன ஸ்பூன். அப்போ நிறைய வாட்டி எடுத்து சாப்பிட வேண்டியிருக்கும். அந்த மாதிரி சாப்பிடும்போது you will feel, especially for sweets and all, you will feel that நிறைய வாட்டி எடுத்து சாப்பிட்டதுனால பெரிய போர்ஷனை சாப்பிட்டிருப்போங்கிறது. So this tip you can definitely try. And while eating, just focus on the food. Relish, haha, எவ்வளவு நல்லா இருக்கு, நான் செம்மையா சமைச்சிருக்கேன், things like this, rather than watching a mobile. Because when we are watching a mobile or a TV and eating, அந்த டயத்துல என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா நம்ம we lose the focus, நம்ம எவ்வளவு வாட்டி சாப்பிட்டிருக்கோங்கிறது. So to keep the focus on, eat, that is focus completely on your food. Don't have any other distractions. Okay, with that, let us come to your second takeaway. இன்னைக்கு வேற என்ன இந்த செஷன்ல இருந்து you can take away. Okay, so I want you again to write down what time of the day do you have cravings, or when do you tend to binge eat? ஈவினிங் டயத்துல ரொம்ப ஸ்நாக்கா சாப்பிட்டுடுறீங்களா, இல்ல மொபைலோ டிவி பாக்கறச்சோ சாப்பிடுறீங்களா, இல்ல ஆபீஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கறச்ச நிறைய டீ, நிறைய காஃபி, many snacks, do you tend to eat like that? When do you binge eat? எந்த மூமெண்ட்ல you feel like you have to binge eat? Just write it down in the sheet of paper. Yes, thank you Padma Priya ma'am. 5 to 6 p.m. in the evening, mostly in the evening. Yes, for most of the women it is evening, not only women, even men, because it is the day of the time where our day is ending after I have returned home. Exactly, Kalyani ma'am. When our energy levels tend to go down. But in the டயத்துல வந்து சாப்பாடு நம்ம சாப்பிட மாட்டோம். We won't go have sadam, rice, something like that. What we'll do is near a snack packet, grab and eat. Right? So next question is, what do you eat? Do you eat snacks? Do you drink tea? Do you drink coffee with biscuits? What do you eat? That matters. Okay, so 10:30 to 11 a.m. Yes, Radhika ma'am, I know that is one time even I feel hungry. Snacks with tea. Punita ma'am, if it is tea only, very good. Okay, coffee with biscuits. Green tea with biscuits. Wow, Shri Vidya ma'am, that's good. So now coming to the next question. Ma'am, Preeti ma'am explained us what is physical hunger and emotional hunger. So, physical hunger evening la mattu pasikardana. Ana office hours la pasikardana, it might be emotional hunger. So just check out evening la kuda neenga saapta appuramum pasikarda. Your friends are there and they are eating something, do you feel hungry? Then it will be emotional hunger. Or are you really hungry? Physical hunger na najjatliye pasikarda. So just bifurcate when you are having the craving, whether it is physical hunger or emotional hunger. If it is physical hunger, no problem. If it is emotional hunger, என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் சாப்பிட்றாங்க அதுக்காக நான் சாப்பிட்றேன், இல்லை ஸ்நாக் பேக்கெட் எதிர்க்க இருக்கு அதுக்காக நான் சாப்பிட்றேன், இல்லை நான் ஒர்க் பண்ணி 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 டயர்ட் ஆயிட்டேன், எனக்கு யாரோட ஐம் ஜஸ்ட் டயர்ட் ஸோ ஐம் ஈட்டிங், ஐம் மென்டலி எக்ஸாஸ்டட் ஸோ ஐம் ஈட்டிங், நாட் ஃபிசிக்கலி எக்ஸாஸ்டட். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி டயத்தில் டிஸ்ட்ராக்ட் யுவர் செல்ஃப், go for a walk, do some exercise, call and talk to someone, listen to music. When you have emotional hunger, that is when we tend to eat more and we tend to put on weight. So you need to distract yourself. அந்த மாதிரி சாப்பிட வரும்போது just walk out. Even if it is your office, just get up and walk out. If it is your home, do some exercise. Talk to someone, distract yourself, listen to music. So try this out and let us know how this works. Now here is the second tip for today. Food swap. So junk நம்ம வந்து ஃபுல்லா விடுறது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம் இல்ல, நம்மளுக்கு ஜங்க் பிடிக்கிறது இல்ல, right? So let us swap it, okay? Rather than chips, you can have baked veggies or fries. In fact, you can even have vegetables that are fried, you know. எவ்வளவு பேர் வெண்டைக்காய் ஃப்ரை சாப்பிட்ருக்கீங்க? நல்ல லாங்கா வெண்டைக்காவை நறுக்கி அதை வந்து there are many recipes for that. அரிசி மாவெல்லாம் போட்டு நல்லா ஃப்ரை பண்ணி எடுப்பாங்க. It will be very tasty. You can try that recipe out. Swap it with chips. Even for your children, you can give that. Rather than ice cream, you can give nice cream. I'm not talking about nice company or ice cream. I'm talking about cream இருக்குல்ல, அதை வீட்டுல வெண்ணெய் சேர்க்கிறோம்ல, வெண்ணெயை சேர்த்து அது கொஞ்சோண்டு சுகரோட மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி you can keep it in the deep freezer. That actually becomes your nice cream. So sugary food ஓட இடத்துல fruit juices, fruit smoothies, நிறைய recipes இருக்கு. In fact, recently our team was doing a small research and நாங்க வந்து millet pakoda எங்கயோ வந்ததுன்னு we made it and it turned out so yummy. For one of our kitchens we were trying and it came out so healthy. So millet pakoda was good. Similarly, we made millet adai. It also turned out very tasty. So there are many recipes. You can just swap it. Okay, rather than going in for unhealthy junk, let's have healthy junk. Okay, even there are nut based cheese பண்றாங்க. nuts அப்படி paste பண்ணி அதோட கொஞ்சம் கசகசாவை போட்டு நல்ல cheesy-ஆ பண்ண முடியாது. There are many recipes there. Please check it out and swap it. Okay, now here comes the next question. Ma'am, நீங்க இவ்வளவு சொல்றீங்க ma'am, time எங்க இருக்கு ma'am பண்றதுக்கு, right? Padmapriya ma'am, I'll just come to your question ma'am. When you see food or in the TV or in the phone, you feel hungry and start craving for it. So that is the time you have to, Padmapriya ma'am, this is emotional eating. So at that time, you have to distract yourself. Keep your mobile down, switch off the TV, walk out, cycle, talk to someone, listen to music, just move out of that place. Okay, so yes, as I was talking, as I was saying, time illa ma'am, right? So that I'll address in the next slide. So this is the second last slide for today. So hope this slide is the most useful one for you. So what are your impediments to follow exercise, impediments in following exercise or diet? Diet பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கும் போது, எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கும் போது எந்த தாட், எந்த விஷயங்கள்லாம் உங்களை ஸ்டாப் பண்றது? Can you write down 3 or 4 such thoughts? இப்ப சொன்ன மாதிரி டைம் இல்ல மேம், நீங்க சொல்றீங்க இவ்வளவு நல்லதா பண்ணுங்கன்னு, டைம் யார்கிட்ட இருக்கு மேம், ரைட்? ஆர் இஃப் இட் இஸ் மேம் எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன் ஆனா ஏதோ ஒரு வேலை வந்துடுறது மேம், ஆர் இட் இஸ் லைக் மேம் ஆஃபீஸ் ஹவர்ஸ் ஆர் டூ லாங். வாட் ஆர் தி இம்பெடிமெண்ட்ஸ்? இல்ல மேம் நல்ல கிளாஸ் கிடைக்கல, I don't have a good yoga class to follow, or I don't have proper diet plans ma'am. What is your impediment? ஒரு 4 impediment, 4 thought. மேம் என்னால முடியாது மேம், நான் நிறைய வாட்டி ட்ரை பண்ணிருக்கேன் மேம், இட்ஸ் நாட் கோனா ஒர்க் அவுட், ஐ நோ. அந்த மாதிரி தாட்ஸ், ஒரு 4 தாட்ஸ், ரைட் இட் டவுன் இன் யோர் பேப்பர். பாடி பெயின் ஆஃப்டர் தட், ஆஃப்டர் தி எக்ஸசைஸ் பாடி பெயின். Thank you.
Night dinner என்ன பண்ணலாம்? What shall I prepare for the night dinner?
Not getting proper diet plans. Thank you Punita ma'am. No stamina, sore muscles, waking up early. Yes, Mrityunjaya sir, very true. waking up early. That is a very big challenge for me as well. Okay. So now that if you have written 4 such challenges, okay, I want you to bifurcate them. Legitly, truly it is so, or am I giving an excuse, or I'm exaggerating it? Is it true? If it is true, அது எதற்கு true எழுதுங்க. If it is excuse, அது எதற்கு excuse எழுதுங்க. If it is true or an excuse, I want you to write that. Can't stick to a routine, excuse. Couldn't be consistent, true. Okay, very good. Okay, if it is true, that means whatever reason you have written, somewhere you are not able to prioritize yourself. So try setting up boundaries. For example, previous slide la na sonne that we can make these food வீட்லயே பண்ணலாம். டொமேட்டோ கெச்சப் வீட்லயே பண்ணலாம், நல்லா பண்ணலாம், நிறைய ரெசிபிஸ் இருக்கு. ஆனா we don't have time for that, right? That is what we say. So what is your priority? Your health or your any other work? You would say, ma'am, office work இருக்கு ma'am, after hours call இருக்கு. I mean, after COVID, life has become hell. வீட்ல கூட work எடுத்துன்னு வந்துட்டு இருக்கோம் நம்ம. Mobile is continuously ringing. But how many hours are you getting paid for? 8.5, 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours? So after that 8.5, 9 hours, it is your time. And who is your priority? Your health, your children's health? Then set up the boundaries. Learn to say a no. Someone is asking for a time. They say, I want to talk to you. Fine. If they are important, give them time. If not, you can tell them, please call me tomorrow. That is okay. So put down boundaries. Prioritize பண்ணாச்சு timetable, or rough timetable, have it every day. You need not have the same timetable. நான் இன்னைக்கு தூங்க போறச்ச நாளைக்குக்காக ஒரு timetable roughly போட்டு வைங்க. Because every day changes. So don't follow the same timetable. Okay. Also, there are group exercise பண்றச்ச we feel motivated to do exercise. So that also you can try. அதே மாதிரி you are not getting a good class, you have us. You are not getting a good diet plan, you have us. Reach out to us. Amutha ma'am, Preeti ma'am will be more than willing to help you. So that I think will be able to help you out with Punita ma'am. So you can just write that out. Okay. Next, if it is an exaggeration, why am I procrastinating? ஏன் நான் அந்த procrastination பண்றேன்? சில பேர் சொன்னீங்க பாடி பெயின் இருக்கும், சில பேர் சொன்னீங்க that ma'am and ஒரு motivation இல்ல to do that, right? So let's think about this angle. First, இது எப்படி work out பண்ணலாங்கிறது நான் உங்களுக்கு சொல்றேன். மூணு steps follow பண்ணுங்க. Only follow 3 steps. Acknowledge the stress. Like you said, body pain is the stress that is making you not to go for exercise. இல்ல நான் எவ்வளவு வேணா பண்ணாலும் weight gain தான் ஆறுது ma'am. I'm going to fail. I'm not going to do it. மேம் எவ்ரி டே எனக்கு நாளைக்கு ஒரு ஆஃபிஷியல் ட்ரிப் இருக்கு மேம், திருப்பி நான் யோகா கிளாஸ் ஜாயின் பண்ணுவேன், ஃபாலோ பண்ண முடியாது மேம். ஆர் ஐ ஒன்ட் டயட் பிளான் ஃபாலோ பண்ண முடிய மாட்டேங்கிறது மேம். ஸோ அக்னாலேஜ் யுவர் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அது ட்ரூ, நீங்க சொன்னீங்கல்ல, ஆமா நிஜத்துலயே அது ஒரு ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கு, அதனால தானே பண்ண முடியல. ஸோ அக்னாலேஜ் இட். ஆஃப்டர் யூ அக்னாலேஜ் இட், you can write it down, you can acknowledge your stress, and after that, remember one thing, stress அங்கேயே தான் இருக்க போகுது. Stress will never go away, right? So focus on the action. So say suppose இப்போ எங்களோட கிளாஸ் யோகா class is usually morning 6 o'clock. Am I right, Amudha ma'am? It's 6 o'clock, right? In the morning, online. I think it is 6 o'clock. So
6:15 ma'am.
morning 6 o'clock வந்து 5:45 மட்டும் முழிக்க முடியல. நாளைக்கு பண்ணலாமே snooze button hit பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். Okay? So don't worry. Just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up and say, இன்னைக்கு 2 நிமிஷத்துக்கு தான் பண்ண போறேன், திருப்பி வந்து தூங்க போறேன். only 2 minutesக்கு இன்னைக்கு யோகா பண்ண போறேன் ஆன்லைன், அவ்வளவுதான். அதோட அதிகமா பண்ண போறது இல்ல. Follow the 2-minute rule. Okay? And get up and do the preparation. Because procrastination is a habit. And if it is a habit, we definitely can change it. So acknowledge it. இப்போ பாடி பெயின் இருக்குங்கிறீங்கல்ல, கரெக்ட். ஸோ நீங்க வந்து மார்னிங் கிளாஸ் ஜாயின் பண்றச்ச ஐயோ உடம்பு வலிக்குமே, வேண்டாம் நாளைக்கு ட்ரை பண்ணலாம், இல்ல இருக்கட்டுமே, ஐயோ இன்னைக்கு வேண்டாம். சரி, ராதர் 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 get up. இன்னைக்கு 2 நிமிஷத்துக்கா பண்ணிட்டு வரேன். 2 நிமிஷத்துல என்ன பாடி பெயின் வர போறது இல்லையா? 2 நிமிஷத்துக்கா பண்ணிட்டு வரேன். Once you get in for 2 minutes, you will be surprised that you actually end up doing it for 10, 15 or 20 minutes. And அது பண்ண அப்புறம் give yourself a small reward. A pat on your shoulder. Very good. You did it today. Tell your husband or your family members, I did it today. Okay. Put it in your status. 15 minutes, 20 minutes yoga done successfully. Acknowledge it. Okay. So try this out and let us know how it works out. Okay. And in it, the last step. Done now. So I want you all to identify this movie. In the movie or in the, it's a very famous Tamil movie. Okay. Guess the movie. Okay, I'm not able to hear. Just a minute.
You should share with the computer sound, ma'am. You should go to share again. You should stop sharing. Then
Okay.
click that share arrow and then that
Advanced sharing.
advanced sharing, share computer sound, and then go back to the screens and then share again, ma'am.
Okay, so in advanced sharing, ma'am, I'm not able to. Okay, just a minute. Okay, there is another one way I can do it. Just a minute.
சொன்னது மட்டும் இல்ல கடைசி சுத்தி காட்டான் எப்படி
Ma'am, it's actually echo for us, ma'am. We are not able to hear it properly.
Oh. I'm sorry, ma'am. I think still அந்த dialogue சரியா கேட்டிருக்காது. But கொஞ்சம் கேட்டதுல was anyone able to? Thank you, Aishwarya ma'am. Yeah, Mori. Right. So it's a very beautiful movie. Mori movie. If you have seen it, it's wonderful. If you have not, please do watch. அதுல வந்து பிருத்விராஜ் ஒரு இடத்துல சொல்லுவாங்க. சாரி, பிரகாஷ் ராஜ் பிருத்விராஜ்ட்ட சொல்லுவாங்க. காலையில ஒரு பூண்டு, மத்தியானம் ஒரு பூண்டு, சாயங்காலம் ஒரு பூண்டு சாப்பிட்டா 100 வயசு வாழலாமா. அது எங்க தாத்தா சொல்லி மட்டும் காட்டல, செஞ்சும் காட்டினாங்க அப்படின்னு. ஸோ அதுக்கு பிருத்விராஜ் கேட்பாங்க, ஓ அப்படியா? ஸோ தாத்தா எப்போ டெத் ஆச்சு, எந்த வயசுல டெத் ஆச்சுன்னு. அதுக்கு பிரகாஷ் ராஜ் சொல்லுவாங்க, ஓ ஹி டைட் இன் 60 when he was 62 years old. அதுக்கு வந்து என்ன பூண்டு? ஸோ அதுக்கு அவங்க சொல்லுவாங்க பிரகாஷ் ராஜ், சில விஷயங்களை வெள்ளை பூண்டால கூட காப்பாற்ற முடியாது. அதே மாதிரிதான் இது எல்லாமே applicable உங்களுக்கு ஆகும் only if you accept it happily. உங்க diet change, உங்க exercise, everything. No amount of வெள்ளப்பூண்டு, no amount of anything can help you if you are not happy. இதெல்லாம் நாங்க சொன்னது are just preventive measures. It will work for you, but if you have trust on it. If you work in a way which makes you happy. In fact, there was a research. எங்க வந்து ஒரு 2 செட் ஆஃப் மைஸ், வெள்ளை மைஸ் எடுத்துட்டாங்க, வெள்ளை கலர் எலிய 2 செட்டா பிரிச்சாங்க. 2 செட்டிலுக்குமே
Audience, some of them don't understand Tamil, so you can put it in English, the experiment.
Okay, ma'am. So the mice were divided into 2 groups. Okay, so one set of mice, they were given, both the set of mice were given high calorie injections. They were given injections of calories, okay, so that they would develop fatty liver, they would develop cholesterol, okay. So lots of high calorie food was given as injection. So their basic idea was one set of mice was given medication for those calories, for cholesterol. The other set of mice was not given medication. So what was expected? The mice which was not given medication should die, right? And the mice which was given medication should survive. But surprisingly, both the sets survived. Why? Because in the second set of mice that were taken care of, that were not given the medicine, the people who were taking care of those mice actually used to keep them very happy. They used to love them, they used to play with them, they used to talk to them. So the mice were very happy. And when they were so happy, they could digest even calories, they could even digest cholesterol. So if you're not able to put on weight, or if you're not able to let go of your weight, somewhere the happiness index of yours is less. In fact, I have seen n number of tatas and parties who had the most unhealthy lifestyle, trust me. But they have lived up to 80 and 90 years because they were happy. They accepted their life and they let go of things. In Tamil, there is a saying, Sandoshama sapta kallu karanju pogu. Be happy. You cannot control everything. You cannot have your expected outcomes out of everything. Learn to put boundaries. Accept. இவ்வளவுதான் என்னால முடியும். Learn to step back. Learn to be happy. Your happiness is in your hand, not in others' hand. அவன் என்ன அப்படி பேசினான்னு நான் ஏன் unhappy ஆனோம்? அவன் பேசினா அவன் பிரச்சனை. Why should I be unhappy? Just because he told me something or she told me something, why should I give away my happiness key to them? No. They have a problem with this color of dress, that is their problem. They have a problem, I'm short, that is their problem. They have a problem, I'm fat, that is their problem. Why should I give it away? Once you come into this thought process itself, you will be surprised that you are losing weight or gaining weight. And in the end of the day, remember, some people may look fat, but they will be very healthy and flexible. So think if your fat is healthy or unhealthy. If your thinness is healthy or unhealthy, and then come to the decision. Okay, so with this, I'll stop our webinar today. If you have any doubts, please do feel yourself free to unmute and ask. All the three of us would be willing to answer your questions. And before you go, give us rather 3 things that you will follow from today. Put in the chat box 3 things that you will follow from today on. Whatever you learned today out of all these things, what are the 3 things that are your takeaways home? I mean, home takeaways. Please put it in the chat box, because unless you commit, you will never do it. Better commit it. Over to you, Preeti ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Neha ma'am. So we have provided a link for feedback. And there is one question: as a male, I'm trim. Okay, I have difficulty shedding fat around the waist. I get regular exercise. I'm cautious about what I eat. What can I do about it? That is where you have to check the things which we told as genetics, or your basal metabolic rate, and your whether you are having a calorie deficit meal or not. And also you have to take probiotics and take care of your gut health, and use techniques like yoga which will suit you. You can consult Dr. Amuda and you can do it. And then we should check if you're able to shed fat around the waist specifically. Andy GS. And there are people who have put inputs for your question, ma'am. And we request everyone to provide feedback. And our numbers are here. You can call us anytime for any medical guidance in terms of hospitals, doctors, or any scans, diagnostics, free medical guidance, and psychological counseling, mind care, and naturopathy and yoga consultations. Thank you and namaste.
the